Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is MegaShadowFist, and welcome back to Ace Attorney Dual Destinies. And when we last left off, we started the first day of the trial for the second case. Yeah, and I got your guys' responses to the Blackwell voice, which, for the most part, were mostly, as I predicted, pretty negative, actually. A lot of people are like, oh my god, you gave him an English accent, it doesn't fit. I get it. I was totally expecting that to happen, which is, like I said that in the previous episode, so it's perfectly fine. What I'm going to say is no, I'm not going to stop giving him an accent. He's going to keep having the accent. I'm sorry. Creative licensing, I have creative license, but, hopefully over time you'll get used to it. In fact, you have no choice in the matter. But yeah, so now we're going to go ahead and continue. Let's go ahead and hit continue, and we're from slot 2, please. And yeah, so yeah. Oh, load the data, yes, please. Yeah, it'll be all right, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry. By the end of the probably not by the end of this recording session, but by the end of this series, you guys probably aren't even going to be able to imagine him without an English accent. Probably not. It's alright. Anyway, without further ado. The defendant is sounding guiltier by the minute. He has the judge leaning toward a guilty verdict, and the trial's just barely begun. Look, Apollo, that's how it is every single time. What's more, a curious rumor about the accused is making the rounds. They say he seeks a merger for the purpose of freeing Tim Tuttle from his imprisonment. Truth be told, I can think of no real reason to show interest in that backwards burg. Perhaps he's a complete nutter and really does seek to release an imaginary demon. Either way, he is raving mad and more than capable of murdering the alderman. By the way, someone in the comment section did say that, I went to the blood room, but instead of donating, he tried to make a withdrawal. What? Oh my goodness. Yeah, but someone in the comment section said that yes, he is a British Ultuki. Simon Blackwell is, because like that's what I've heard. Like some people were surprised by that, but like no, that's like a legitimate thing that I've heard. Like I believe way before I started this series, I remember like seeing like a thread, or maybe it was like a common discussion of the YouTube, and like YouTube comments where people were like a legitimate question was asked: is Simon Blackwell like British? Is he English? So like I'm not making this up. Anyway. Order! There will be no gossiping in my court. Your boldness. Please take a gander at those charms plastered across his cranium. I hear they're meant to keep him safe from possession by the demon Tim Tuttle. Then again. Perhaps he's already under the demon's spell. Behold! The lunatic appears poised to lunge at you at any moment. Eep! The rumors of quirks of Mayor Timma have no relevance to this case. Besides, those charms on his head, they're just a fashion statement, I think. Come to think of it, such things don't seem relevant to the case, do they? The power of suggestion, I suppose. Don't worry, we got Athena to counteract his psychology. The prosecution will refrain from dragging our client's reputation through the mud. Oh, what a dreadfully fearsome lass we have here. Phew, thanks for that lifeline, Athena. Careful, Apollo! He has the judge dancing in the palm of his hand! The power of suggestion is one of the more powerful tools in Simon Blackwell's arsenal. He's trying to manipulate everyone's impression to suit his objectives. This guy really is bad news. In any case, it seems the victim did manage to defend himself despite being impelled. What sort of weapon did he use against his attacker? Hold on, I have a question though. So, in the previous recording session, I asked if the staff that the Tim Tuttle was carrying was a murder weapon, and someone was like, "Whoa, you saw that big thing impelled inside of him, right? So, like, you know, the big. Do we have an autopsy report? Is what I'm getting at. Yes, we do. Victim had been stabbed with a spear. Okay. I still think, because, like, you notice, like, sounded like he had that big spear stabbed inside of him, so if that was the murder weapon that Tim Tuttle was carrying, then... Okay, well, first of all, First of all, you guys will recall in the animated cutscene, freaking Mr. LaBelle's like, "Night, night, Alderman, sweet dreams." Smacked the Alderman right in the head. Granted, the Alderman wasn't the one who was murdered, but still, I think it's only logical to assume that the spear that was smacked him in the back on the top of the head is the same murder weapon. And just because there's a spear inside of him, that does not necessarily mean that was the actual murder weapon, okay? Ace Attorney does that sometimes. Okay, give me a break, man. What sort of weapon did he use against his attacker? None other than a statue right here. It appears to be a statue of two strange creatures locked in battle. Two yokai to be exact. On one side is a nine-toed fox and the other Tim a turtle. Quite interesting if you think about it. It's as though this very case were rendered in art. Fox and demon statue updated in the court record. What am I doing? The weapon used to bludgeon the mayor. The mayor's blood was found on it, but no prints could be lifted. Mr. Justice, you may proceed with your cross-examination. Finally! 7 minutes in, I was wasting so much time. Cross-examination. I hope you're ready. About the murder. And as per usual, even though it doesn't matter, we're still going to save anyway, because that's tradition, man. So we're going to be slaving over slot 1. By the way, it is from my understanding... I'll save that for later, actually. Anyway, Alderman Cuba's murdered with a spear that had been on the wall. Hold it! His voice changed in between recording sessions, did it? So, those weapons on the wall of the Fox Chamber, I presume those are real. Don't you think keeping real weapons around like that is rather dangerous? No matter what he collected, the Alderman insisted to be the real deal. For instance, he had a real demon's club in his possession. Apparently, one of his ancestors claimed it after defeating a demon in battle. What? That's gotta be an old wives' tale. I love his face! The Alderman had pure, unadulterated justice flowing in his veins. Whatever he did it right! Oh my... He's crying? We've lost a real champion of justice in his death! Nothing but claptrap and boulder dash if you ask me. Now stop your bleating and tell us about the weapon. Your wish is my command. Switching between the two voices, between the Fulbright voice and the whatchamacallit voice is kind of weird because I do accents for either one, and the Fulbright voice and the Black voice is kind of weird because I do accents for either one, and it's kind of sometimes their accents sort of intermingle. So last time was Alderman Cuba was murdered with a spear that had been on the wall. The fingerprints of the defendant, Damien Timmon, were found on the murder weapon, as per usual. Hold it! It doesn't make sense if you think about it. Prints can be easily wiped off. You do have a point there. I'd venture to say he did not wipe off the prints because he could not. What do you mean? Yeah, I'm picking up what you're throwing down. Looks like he wants you to figure it out. Well, don't just stand there, show him who's boss. I'm totally lost, so why don't you just tell me the answer already? I don't think he saw that plea for help. You're feeling alright, kid. Running a fever, perhaps? I wish trials came with a reset button. They do. Sort of. Well, the specifics may yet come to light. Please proceed, Detective Fulbright. So just to make sure, the last one was that it was, the fingerprints were on it, right? The fingerprints of the defendant, Damon Timmer, were found on the murder weapon. At the time, Alderman Cuba was asleep from a drug he unwittingly ingested. Hold it. Hold it! Come to think of it, a coffee cup was found on the floor. Was a sedative in his coffee. Hold on, let me make sure, at the time it was asleep from a drug he unwittingly ingested. Was a sedative in his coffee. Bingo! We found traces of a sleeping agent all over the inside of the cup. And that is why he is out cold. That is until he leapt to his feet upon being impaled by the mayor. Right. So, yeah, we're defending the mayor. The alderman was the one that was... Okay, I was getting the two mixed up for some reason. Anyway, what an awful way to wake up. A rather stimulating eye-opener, if you ask me. I, too, would have risen to the attack for to die in battle some way. Paradise awaits fallen heroes, but that hole in his stomach would make eating a challenge. Okay. Paradise awaits fallen heroes, but that hole in his stomach would make eating a challenge. Prosecutor Blackwell, please. There's. Why am I giving it the English? See, the two accents like intermingle with each other. Prosecutor Blackwell, please. Those morbid jokes of yours have no place in this court. Says the Justin detectives, guys. Moving right along. Mayor Timma attacked his helpless victim, impaling him like a human shish kebab. So the previous one was that at the time Alderman Cube was asleep from a drug he unwittingly ingested. Mayor Timma attacked his helpless victim, impaling him like a human shish kebab. Alright, hold it! So, the Alderman was drugged because he was really strong. Did you see those rock-hard muscles of his? I'm surprised the spear even managed to pierce that armor-like musculature. I admit, I'm completely jealous of that righteous body of his. Well, he did look pretty buff, even in that suit he had on. Quite a difference when compared with a yellow belly like you. Yellow belly? Who even says that anymore? Hey, readings for Yellow Bellies. Haven't you watched Fairly Odd Parents? Oh, that episode probably came out. Let's see, Apollo was born in 2004, right? So that episode would have come out before he was born, assuming that Fairly Odd Parents even exists in this universe, which we can assume that it does. When I say can't. I don't know. Sometimes they don't always enunciate that. So anyway. Yeah, and the colors are wrong too. Oh, I know. How about a squishy red tomato? I move to strike both of your comments from the record. Mr. Justice's character is not the issue here. Now, let's get back to what happened after the far more muscular Alderman was impaled. Yes, well, your average person would likely have died on the spot. But the sudden pain jolted the victim awake and he grabbed a statue and struck back. So just make sure, I've done this every single time, attacked his helpless and playing him like a shish kebab. But the sudden pain jolted the victim awake and he grabbed a statue and struck back. Oh, so that's what they're saying, eh? Alright. Press hold it! Okay, I can't make that. I need to stop. Stop. I did 3 times in a row. Could he really have attacked his attacker after being impelled with that huge spear? Absolutely. After all, he was once a pro wrestler. The injustice of being drugged, the spear was answered with a righteous counterattack. But does being a former pro wrestler make him superhuman? Absolutely! After all, he was one of the good guys, like a superhero on the side of justice. Even though he was retired, he could still don his superhero guise in times of need. Objection. You need to lay out the comic books, detective. We're talking about real life here. How about Detective Comics, eh, DC? I didn't even know DC stood for Detective Comics. Yeah, I did. I would consider that common knowledge, but I'm not exactly sure if everyone watching this is exactly a comic book fan. I wouldn't even really consider myself to be a comic book fan, but yeah, DC stands for Detective Comics. Anyway. Setting aside the half-wit's fancy, the fact is this. The court ordered post-mortem concluded the victim moved after skewering. Can we add that to the statement, please? So he found this. No, actually, that doesn't really necessary. We don't really need to add that. So he found the strength somehow to attack his attacker, huh? Detective Fulbright's testimony sounds airtight. No wonder he's so confident. No, he only thinks it's airtight. It's up to us to poke some holes in it. That part about the Alderman fighting back sounds like a big hole waiting to be poked. Okay, thanks for telling me which one you need to present to. I guess this isn't the first case anymore, but still. This is the first real case of the game, I suppose. Okay. Attacked his helpless victim, impaling him like a human shish kebab. But the sudden pain jolted the victim awake, and he grabbed a statue and struck back. Okay, so what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to look at the autopsy report. Did he die instantly? Stabbed with a spear. Around 3:20, the victim had been in a drug-induced slumber. Okay. TV listings. 3 o'clock. Pro Wrestling Howlin' Wolf vs. Pretty Boy Vampire. Okay. By the way, somebody pointed out that, yeah, this is a Twilight reference. I didn't get that immediately, but, you know, Pretty Boy Vampire versus Howlin' Wolf versus Timothy Twilight. Yeah. Okay. Well, actually, let's take the time to read everything. Okay. Chairs. Yeah, we don't need the one. The sole document showing what Timothy looks like. It seems those who foolishly choose to depict the demon are cursed. The Timothy wording charm that Jinxie gave me when I set out for the scene of the crime. A flower found only in Ninetales-ville. Its boosts Jinx's courage because it was her mother's favorite. A newspaper with a photo of Timotodle soaring through the air. And this was 3:40 p.m. So that was about 20 minutes after the time of death. Diagrams from the scene of the crime. Well, let's look at the scene of the crime. No, they don't have like chairs or anything, because usually that stuff isn't important to add. There's a foyer. Weapon used to bludgeon the mayor. The mayor's blood was found in it, but no prints could be lifted. Okay, but no prints could be lifted. Okay. So should we use that, ladies and gentlemen? So, like, we can't prove that it was actually his? Because I don't think... As you see, he's not wearing gloves, right? Okay, so, yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Present. Objection! Right? Okay, we got quiet. Okay. Anyway, without further ado, so... I sort of guessed this on my own anyway, but, like, this was confirmed in a comment in the previous section. It seems like... everyone gets their own custom objection theme in this game. Like, you know, Phoenix's was the Trials and Tribulations theme, and Apollo's, well, did the Alderman really strike the mayor? What? Are you questioning my sense of justice? Your so-called justice needs to find itself a pair of legs to stand on. You claim the Alderman struck back after the mayor put a spear through him. But the statue he supposedly used to defend himself creates a major hole in your theory. It would appear that the defense has a counter-argument. Very well. Let's hear what the defense thinks is odd about the detective statue theory. There are no fingerprints. There are no fingerprints on this supposedly crucial piece of evidence. And if you look at the crime scene photo, you'll notice that the Alderman isn't wearing gloves. Yes, I believe he is quite gloveless indeed. If he touched the statue with his bare hands, he should have left some fingerprints. Detective Fulbright, you did take that into account during your investigation, didn't you? Hold on. Oh? 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 This is one of my favorite objection themes, actually. Oh, this sounds cool! Oh, yeah, I love it. Apollo has one of the best objection themes, legitimately. Oh, it's like, it's so dramatic. Oh, this can't be happening! Did I arrest the wrong man? You're going down now, Detective Fulbright. You did it, Apollo! You have Detective Fulbright off his high horse! Well, it's just 1 point in our favor. Oh, by the way, my reaction to the song is gonna sound completely off because of the sound delay. So, like, anyway, who do you suppose clubbed the mayor if it wasn't the Alderman? Well, if it wasn't the Alderman, that means someone else must have clubbed the mayor. You mean there's a third party there in the Fox Chamber? Exactly, and this could be the big break we've been looking for. There does seem to be a hole in the prosecution's argument. Prosecutor Blackwell, would you care to respond to the defense's assertion? Every time. Oh, yeah, I like the guitar. Oh, it stopped instantly. Alright, leave it to Blackwell to be the mood killer. The least you could do is look at me while being dismissive. Your mind is as dull as an unhoned blade, Justice Dono. Really, Dono? What? Talking like a samurai too. Justice Dono? He's been watching too many samurai flicks. Seriously! I wonder, like, Dono, I wonder if he, like, ends a sentence with degozaru, like a samurai does. He probably, no, actually, I looked at it, he doesn't actually do that. He doesn't talk like a, well, actually, I didn't really pay attention to his speech that much. I'm gonna need to look back. I don't think he ends his sentence with degozaru. Like, he doesn't talk like a samurai, but it would take far more than that to cut down Simon Blackwell. Oh, I guess this is Blackwell's theme? I'm not exactly sure. Like, it sounds like it doesn't sound specific, like specifically Japanese, like distinctly Japanese to me. Like, it has a little bit of foreign influence to it. By the way, yes, there was an English samurai at one point. His name was not William Wallace, William Adams. Yeah, that in real life, if you studied Japanese history, you would know that. Anyway, without further ado, I'll see you guys in the next episode.